Unlike Mercedes, who is willing to put an AMG badge on pretty much everything they make, BMW has refrained from ever making a true high-performance flagship sedan or SUV. They've really left that job to an independent tuning house called Alpina. This, my friends, is a 2025 BMW Alpina XB7, and we're going to be telling you all about this vehicle. It's that rare opportunity where a vehicle can make something even like an X7 M60i look like a poor person's vehicle. Now, Alpina was founded back in 1965 and has always had a close partnership with BMW. Unlike AMG, who eventually became a subsidiary of the brands that they were tuning, Alpina still remains not only independently owned, but family operated. Now, here in Canada, only one Alpina model is sold through the BMW network. That is this XB7, but you can also get the B8 in the United States. And there's a number of other Alpina vehicles available in Europe. We just don't get a lot of them here. And as of filming this, there are only 11 Alpinas available for sale on Auto Trader Canada. So if you're looking to have something ultra exclusive, this is the way to go. So today we're going to be going over everything you need to know about the Alpina XB7, how it compares to the X7 that we drove several years ago, and why you're going to want to pony up the extra cash to get this ultra rare exclusive SUV. Alright, so how much is an XB7 going to set you back? Here in Canada, base MSRP $175,000, US that is $156,000, as tested $198,000 Canadian or $162,000 in the US. Here in Canada, you're also going to be paying over $19,000 of luxury tax, and that's on top of the HST and PST and whatever other sales tax you may need to pay in your provinces. Now for 2026, the price is increased by about $1,900 Canadian, which is actually not bad overall when you consider that's like 1%, 2% of the MSRP has gone up, which isn't that bad overall. But how does the price compare? Well, a 2025 Mercedes AMG GLS 63 is going to cost you pretty much $200,000. So it really is in the same league as that vehicle. But it is about $55,000 more than an X7 M60i, which we featured back in 2020. So if you want to see what the pre-LCI non-Alpina version of this vehicle looks like, you can check out that video in the top right corner. Powering our Alpina XB7 is the 4.4-liter bi-turbo V8 engine with BMW mild hybrid technology. It's an S68 engine, but BMW has given this engine to Alpina to adhere to their drivetrain philosophy. So the engineers at Alpina have taken it and made it just a little bit better. 631 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque. And what's important is that torque begins at 1800 RPM, goes all the way up to 5600. So right at the peak of the torque is where you're going to get the start of your horsepower. This engine absolutely pulls. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, if you were to go with the 21-inch performance rims and tires, would be 4.2 seconds. This should not be too far off of that. But Alpina didn't finish there. They also have a specific engine management system with performance cooling on here, so you know when you're pushing this to the limit, you're not going to damage the engine. The cooling has been beefed up quite a bit on the Alpina XB7. Now the XB7 comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission, but it has the Alpina Switchtronic wheel-mounted shift buttons. They're not shift paddles, they are actual buttons. We also have the 2-axle air suspension with the Alpina-specific dampers, and the ride height can change up to 40.6 millimeters depending on which mode you're in. Now Alpina says if you're going 250 kilometers an hour or higher, it will lower it by 40.6 millimeters to the absolute lowest that it will go. We can't do that here in Canada, so I'll have to take their word for it. And then even the second lowest setting is at 150 kilometers, which is still going to get you into a lot of trouble if you're on a road. We also have the integral active steering on here, which allows the rear wheels to pivot up to 2.3 degrees in either direction, depending on where you're turning and how you're turning, which makes this vehicle, despite its long length and wide stance, actually pretty nimble in parking lots. The overall exterior design of the XB7 is quite unique. It looks completely different from an M60i, so it really gives you a reason to want to upgrade to this. The first thing I noticed was how the Alpina front apron with the floating name just really stands out. Now, I actually went back and watched the 2007 Alpina B7 video that I filmed back in like 2016. And it was interesting because a lot of those Alpinas back then, it was just sort of an embossed name badge on the bottom of the apron. But this one, because it's actually floating in the grille area, the bottom fascia, it just looks so cool. I love how flashy it makes this vehicle look, even though it's just a subtle detail. Now, the real showstoppers when it comes to this vehicle are the forged 23-inch alloy rims with the classic 20-spoke Alpina design to them. One thing that has changed over the years is they've gone away with the cover for your lug nuts. It used to be a cover that actually locked, had a specific set of keys for them so that people couldn't steal the rims. It's kind of gone away in the last little while, so you can still see the lug nuts on this vehicle, but still the rims look absolutely great. We have 4-piston Brembo brake calipers up front with a floating brake caliper setup in the rear, and they are both finished in the Alpina blue paint. And then out back we have the quad oval tailpipes, which gives this car not only a mean look to it, but it sounds excellent as well. And then the rest of the vehicle has really a body kit on it to differentiate it from any other X7 on the road. Let's take a listen to how that exhaust sounds first. The interior of our Alpina XB7 is just as exclusive as it is on the outside. We have the glass iDrive controller with the Alpina crest embedded into it. We have the blue illuminated gear selector, as well as the Alpina production plaque, which is added into the center where your drink cup holder slider is. Very nice there. We have the unique Alpina steering wheel with the hand-finished Lavellina leather with trademarked blue and green stitching, which is something you will find on all other Alpinas, as well as the Alpina Natural Walnut Anthracite Wood trim, which there are a couple different options. This one I like because it has the actual Alpina crest stamped onto the side of it. Then our floor mats have the Alpina crest as well, with the illuminated door sills. I mean, there's not much more you could ask when it comes to this vehicle. Now, I will admit though, one downside with this, we don't have ventilated seats back here. Feels like I'm in the back of an Escalade. I would have preferred to see that, especially considering you do have power-operated seats here with head pillows, heated seats, and 4-zone climate control, but it just doesn't seem to be something you can option. Really, the only thing missing from this vehicle, the way that it's configured, is the 5-zone climate control system. Even the rear heated seats exist, which is something that we talked about with the X7 before, but you could add another climate zone back there. And that is something I believe was on the 2020 X7 M60 that we did many, many years ago. So you can check that video out. But let's hit the road now. I want to talk about how this vehicle performs, and I'm sure you are eager to see this thing in action. So let's take it for a drive. All right, we're on the road now in the Alpina XB7. For zero of you who care fuel efficiency, we completed our 100-kilometer test loop in 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers. I was in Sport Plus mode, folks. I cannot put this car into comfort mode, and that's really the only two modes. There's no eco mode. There's none of that stuff, folks. There's no off-road mode. There's Sport, Sport Plus, Sport Individual, Comfort, and Comfort Plus. That's it. You do not need any more than that. I don't even know why they included the comfort mode. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I think you're really going to just keep this car in sport mode. Because why else? Why would you buy this if you're not driving this thing in sport mode? Come on, folks. I have thoroughly enjoyed the sound of this thing. It is pretty harsh on the road. You do feel a lot of the bumps. That's what you would expect from a higher performance SUV such as this. But man, it just... there's something about it, and you know what? You won't believe this. I didn't believe it either, right? Because, you know, this is a pretty rare vehicle, right? Alpina doesn't make a lot of these, and then they don't bring a lot of them to Canada. They're always a very low volume seller here in our market. So I'm driving home with this. I'm in my region here, which there's one BMW dealership for the entire, like, southwestern Ontario. What's coming behind me is an X7, and I think, I'll be in front of him. I'm much more impressive than he is because I have an Alpina. He passes me. It's an Alpina XB7. Out of every single vehicle I could have seen, I mean, the number of X7s I see in a month is like 1 to 2. And then the one time that I have an XB7, another XB7 passes me. Couldn't believe it. So the GTA effect maybe in action there. But it's one of those vehicles that once you buy it, once you drive it, you kind of understand why. I mean, it's obviously pretty expensive, but as I mentioned, it is pretty much the same price as a Mercedes-AMG GLS 63, so it's not an outlandish amount of money. And we featured Range Rovers that are over $200,000, so it certainly makes sense. This is a 6-passenger, 3-row, full-size luxury SUV that can absolutely haul ass. Now, I'll give you a bit of an example here. There's quite a bit of traffic today. There's somebody coming here. Oh God, I hope you can hear that. I hope you can hear it through my microphone, because really the vehicle just sounds outstanding. It's insane. Oh God, I love it. And yeah, you really got to be able to hear it. So I apologize if you're not quite getting the full experience that I'm giving you as at least I'm getting here as a driver, because it really is good. Now, when it comes to our shifters, remember, they're not flappy paddles, they're flappy buttons. They're buttons. They do shift pretty quick. You know, if I were to go down, yeah, it's right there. Oh yeah, I mean, it sounds great. So the shift system here it's pretty quick. It's different. It's a unique system if you haven't, again, felt it before. But again, going back to the 2007 Alpina B7 that I did, you know, they had the button markings on the sides of the steering wheel. Now they're sort of on the top here, but yeah, it works. I mean, they're pretty quick. So if you were to take this on the track, I don't know why you would, but you absolutely could, and you'll be able to shift it yourself. Oh, come on. Oh man, buddy. Yeah, it's one of those weeks that I feel good about myself, in the sense that I had 2 weeks of electric vehicles, so I've helped to reduce the overall carbon being put up into the air, and then now I'm really making up for those 2 weeks by putting lots of carbon in the air with this thing. But God, it's just so much fun, and it sounds so good. Oh my God. Yeah, I just drive around. I don't even really have anywhere to go these days. I'm just taking it for a drive, because I just love the sound of it. I love the feel of it. And then if you want to, which why would you not, I gotta put it back into automatic shift mode, because I know that I can't shift as quick as this thing. But oh my God, that's fast. Oh my God, 100. I mean, that's almost like electric vehicle levels of torque, because as I mentioned outside, you're getting 590 pound-feet of it almost instantly. I mean, the car's idling effectively at 1500 RPM, so it's almost always got that amount of torque ready for you. And yeah, I felt it push me right back into the back of my seat here. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's excellent that BMW and Alpina still offer a big 4.4 liter V8 engine. It'll always be a special engine for me. Back when I had my E38, you know, if you're a very, very long time viewer of our channel, that is how all of this started. That is really the genesis of test drive, was when I bought that BMW 7 Series with a 4.4 liter V8 engine. Oh, now I'm taking these tracks very slow. This is not something you want to fly over. But then, oh, power! Oh, get out of the way, birds, we're coming. Man, it pulls so hard. Oh my God, yeah. That's it. I mean, end of the review. That's all you need to know, folks. Like, I mean, listen, if you're watching this because you want to be entertained, I hope you have been. I hope you've learned about this vehicle. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me driving it and experiencing it for a week. But like, if you're watching this video because you're sitting there like, geez, should I spend a small house to buy an SUV? Yeah, you're gonna buy it. You don't. It doesn't matter what anybody says, let alone myself. But if you're trying to figure out, should you buy this over, like I said, a Range Rover or the Mercedes GLS 63? I mean, those vehicles they're still rare. They're still rare here. But I think there's something special about buying an Alpina, because it is so unique. It is manufactured by Alpina. It's not really just a BMW with a body kit. It really is something special and unique. And I've found over the last several years, you know, even as a Mercedes enthusiast, I just feel that the Mercedes have kind of come down in terms of quality. The interiors are a little bit more bland. They're sticking large tablets now in the interiors, whereas BMW is sticking with more of a traditional setup here. iDrive 8.5 is one of the best if not really the best infotainment system on the market. It just works. And if you want to use Apple CarPlay, not only will it take up the entire screen for you, and it will work wirelessly, and it will give you no problems, but just the core of iDrive, using their navigation and their music and their systems and going through the menus, is far superior to any other luxury infotainment system on the market, and just any other infotainment in general. It really has been perfected over the years, and it's because they started very early, way back in 2003, with the first version of iDrive. So yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping it would be. It has been an insane amount of fun driving it around. And yes, it does make those who bought a BMW X7 M60i xDrive feel like a poor person's car, because this really does take it up to another level. Another level of just, you know, even though, I mean, obviously for those who know what this vehicle is, it's an instant head turner and grabs attention. But even from the people I wouldn't really have expected to be paying attention to this vehicle, it has turned those heads. People are just fascinated, not only by the fact that it is a very large SUV in a very flashy color. You don't usually see green, this being the Alpina 2 green metallic paint for $5,000. It stands out for that regard. It stands out because it's loud. It stands out because of that Alpina right along the front, bottom, as well as on the back of the vehicle. It is something unique and something special, and really, I'm glad that BMW makes it. It's a little sad that the current generation 7 Series doesn't have a B7 option here, at least in North America. You know, I've always appreciated those vehicles. Again, as a 7 Series owner, I look back, especially at the E38 Alpinas. I mean, those were some phenomenal vehicles that were made back then. And those, if you can find one, man, just hold on to it. Prices are going to continue to go up. But something like this, absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. So now it's time for Mercedes to give me the chance to try out the GLS, or even a Maybach, but it's a little bit different. I wouldn't compare this at all to a Maybach, because that is really a luxury vehicle, whereas this one will take on the AMG and give it a run for its money. Oh, I mean, just how can you not love the sound of that? If you have any questions about this episode of Test Drive, I do get back to everybody. It may take some time, but we are once again caught up on our comments, so make sure you leave a comment below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, I invite you to do so. Hit the thumbs up and make sure that you check out all of the content that we've got on here. There will be a link at the end of this video, not only to the X7 M60i that I did several years ago, but also to the very rough but enjoyable nonetheless video to watch on the 2007 Alpina B7. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.